The 929th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 929 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's dedicated to my dad, whose birthday was yesterday. Thank you for coming to the show. I am the Spicy Pimp, capital Pimp, P-I-M-P, Jeff Fox. With me, Daniel Gumby. We got some UFC to talk about today and tomorrow. And then our very last Contender Series episode we shall cover as well. So this week is all about UFC Rio, UFC Fight Night Oliveira versus Gamrot. We'll get to that shortly. We haven't recapped last weekend. Last week we did good. Gumby and I both did good, so we should recap it. We both went 9-5. We both won money. I won 216. That's based off of just a blind $100 on every fight. Gumby made
only money line.
So
only money line.
Only money line. Yes, same amount on every money line. So Gumby beat me 242 to 216. So on the year, you're up by $133.02. So I could retake the lead and then loosely retake the lead all in 1 week. So there's still plenty of time.
Yeah, there's time. That's the mantra, right?
The problem is Gumby is overperforming. Usually by this part of the year, you're not usually pushing me this hard, Gumby. So it's
that's
rough.
Not true. I beat you. Was it not? Maybe not last year. The year before.
Oh, what? Okay, fine.
2023 was the year of Gumby.
Yes, the good old days. Any thoughts on Fight Night Oliveira versus Gamrot? Maybe on the prelim portion or anything else you want to chat about before we dive into it?
I would say kind of fun, but in a way that I wasn't ready for it to be fun. So like I looked at the card to start and I was like, yeah, like deep exhale. I don't know. These prelims kind of sucked out there. And then I like did a deep dive and I'm like, oh, whoa, I completely forgot that this guy with a god awful record who I haven't seen in years is like pretty nasty, it was like a fun reminder that like these guys who probably once upon a time I was hyped that they signed and who have since amassed ugly records or disappeared for long periods of time or sometimes both right. maybe don't suck, and it's like really cool that they're fighting here.
Yeah, a lot of Brazilians, not surprisingly, because we're in Brazil. A lot of fighters who, like Gummy said, ugly records and or haven't fought in a while. People are wondering why. Yeah, or both. Yeah, and you're wondering why. Like, it's kind of hit and miss. It's kind of random who they decide to cut and who they don't decide to cut, right? Because we've got like 0-2, 0-3, like all these. Usually that is an automatic cut from the UFC, especially if you haven't fought for years. But we have a whole handful of those on the card here, so it's odd how they choose to cut people. But this is not the season to go in a losing streak because 4 new fighters got signed last night, and every week there's
6 new fighters.
Yes,
six.
Yeah, because the one, because people bled in the co-main event. So yeah,
no, that fight was sick though.
It was good.
No,
if you don't like defense, that's the fight for you.
We knock all the time that like he should not sign both of them. That was a great double sign because Volvodkin, he did not come through for us on the money line because I had Vologden. But like, dude, that dude can take like 13 straight knees to the forehead, bleeding everywhere, and then he comes out throwing hooks that would sleep 9 out of 10 guys. Like, I'm like all in on both those guys. That was fun as hell.
It definitely was. More. We talk some more about that tomorrow because we got our last week of Contender Series, but we'll cover tomorrow. Probably should dive into it. We've got 8 fights to cover, or 7 fights to cover today, somewhere in that range. Before we do dive into it, reminder: download the SGPN app in your app store for easy, free access to all of SGPN's picks and podcasts. All right, it is prelim time for us because we break it in half that way. So we've got 7 fights on the prelims, and then we got another 6 to go tomorrow. So it's UFC Fight Night Oliveira versus Gamrot, aka UFC Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This Saturday, 4 p.m. start time on the prelims. 7 is the main card, ESPN Plus for both of the cards. If you want to go watch it, Farmacy Arena. I'm sure the tickets are quite reasonably priced because that's the UFC for you. Rio de Janeiro in an octagon. 13 fights. We told you all that. Let's dive into the fight. We got Brazil versus Brazil action to kick things off in the men's bantamweight weight class. Saimon Oliveira versus Luan Lacerda. That's a breaker down by telling you about. These are a couple of people you're like, oh, they're still in the UFC. Lacerda, 12-3, 10 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 0-2 in the UFC, so he's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 10 straight. TKO loss in his last bout. That was back in June of 2023. He's not won since May of 2022. He's a regional champ, or was a regional champ. He used to fight at 145, 2012 pro MMA debut, 3 inches taller than Oliveira, 2 years younger. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 1.46 strikes per minute. But he has better striking stats. He's more active landing strikes than Oliveira, and he's got better grappling stats as well, plus 210. Oliveira, 18-6, 5 knockouts, 11 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. He's 0-3 in the UFC. So he's lost 3 straight. Before that, he won 5 straight, 2 straight losses via TKO for him. Has not won since September 2021. He went 1-0 Contender Series. Used to fight at 145 and 155. 2013 pro MMA debut. He's got an inch of reach advantage over Lacerda. He's been outstruck by 2.55 strikes per minute, minus 235. So we kick things off. This has got to be a loser leaves town match for sure, you would think here. So
you would think so. I got to say, though, I went and did some digging into their records when I first saw, like, oh, yeah, these guys, I completely forgot about who they were. Yeah. Lacerda lost to Cody Stamen and Damon Blackshear. Like, that's pretty legit, right? And I'm trying to remember. It's Tony Gravely, Daniel Marcos.
Yep.
And somebody else, like, very legitimate for Saimon Oliveira, too. Like
David Martinez.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget David Martinez, who's fresh off of his win over Rob Font. So, like, incredible resumes. So I went back and I watched them, and the big piece for me is just how nasty Luan Lacerda is in his grappling. At first, I was like, okay, well, these guys both suck. Maybe we just take a stab on the underdog, right? But Luan Lacerda, I mean, like, first of all, you can see his grappling in that fight with Cody Stamen. Like, he winds up with top control at times against Cody Stamen, who's a pretty damn good wrestler. And
that's legit. Yep.
And even more legit than that, I'm going back to his last fight before he signed with the UFC. Do you know who he beat in his last fight that got him his contract?
No.
It's Mircea Alves, the guy who just won PFL. And if you remember, all my picks on him in PFL were like, look, this dude throws amazing hands and nobody can take him down. He's got, like, elite takedown defense. He went in there and fought Justin Wetzel. Wetzel looked like he had never wrestled before.
Oh, the pretzel guy,
Yeah, the pretzel Wetzel. But, like, if you go in and you look at his fight with Luan Lacerda, Lacerda takes him down and has some, like, really dominant position, and then he subs him. And granted, you know, we're talking 2-3 years ago now because he's got that big layoff. But, man, like, I really was, like, reawakened to just how good Luan Lacerda's grappling game is. I think Saimon Oliveira gets taken down very early in this fight and submitted really quickly. So, yeah, I'm going to take Luan Lacerda.
Yeah, I'll take a stab on a dog here, too. Both guys, at least record-wise, aren't that great. But, like, as we said, amazing competition. Lacerda is probably a little bit better competition, and he's actually put up better numbers against better competition than Oliveira has as well, if you want to dive into the analytics section of it. But as Gumby said, it's the probably going to come down to the grappling. Well, it has to. If Lacerda is going to win, it has to come down to the grappling. So
did you say stab on a dog? Is Lacerda a dog? Did I miss that?
Yeah. Unless I got it swapped here. Let me see.
No, you got it massively wrong. He's like a 250 favorite.
I think I did switch it, which is sad. Yes, Lacerda minus 235.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. At first, you had me psyched out because I watched that. I watched the film on both of them, and I was like, there ain't no way he's a dog.
Yep, you are right. Yeah, it's Lacerda. They were on opposite. Anyhow, I know how I screwed that up, but I screwed it up. So sadly, we're taking the favorite here, but. I
actually think a good price, surprisingly. Yeah, like I think 230 is well worth the price tag here.
There you go. We're going to the women's side. We're dropped down to strawweight. Julia Polastri, Brazil. Karolina Kowalkiewicz from Poland. Let's tell you about Kowalkiewicz. Double K is 16-9. 1 knockout, 3 submissions. She's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 9-9 in the UFC. She's lost 2 straight. Before that, she went on a run, which we didn't see coming. She won 4 straight before that. She went 1-0 in Invicta. She was the KSW champion. Used to fight at 125. 2012 pro MMA debut. An inch taller than Polastri. But these are both kind of short queens. 5'3", 5'2". She has outstruck her opponents, but just barely. She's at plus 0.03 strikes per minute in the positive in the UFC, and she's at plus 361 No respect for the bet. Psycho Polastri. Did you know she's psycho, Gumby? She is. She's psycho. Well, she is. She's psycho. She's 13-5. 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. She's never been finished in a fight. Well, both ladies are definitely quite durable, Gumby. Let me see. Never been finished. 1-2 in the UFC. Loss over her last 3. 5-2 over her last 7. 1-1 on the Contender Series. LFA champion, regional champion. Used fed at 105 and 125. 13 years younger than Kowalkiewicz. I think that's a big thing there. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats. She's outstruck opponents by 0.25 strikes per minute, minus 350. Give me Psycho. I'll take Polastri. I like Kowalkiewicz. I like the run that she's been on. We didn't see it coming, but now she's being fed to younger fighters, and she is losing. I think Polastri, obviously, the age gap is the big thing here, but I also think she can hang with her on the feet as well, which is the key if you're going to fight a kickboxer like Kowalkiewicz. So give me Polastri here.
Yeah. So I have long been a proponent of supporting Kowalkiewicz and thinking that she's not quite as burnt out as people think she is. But I think the problem here is she's getting just a little bit more than she can chew in terms of the speed. You know, if you watch Polastri against Lupi Godinez, like she took a round off of Lupi Godinez, which is you know, a hell of a feather in your cap. She did get taken down 5 times. And like, actually some of my handicap usually on Kowalkiewicz is that like, she's got a little bit more wrestling than people are ready for. But like Polastri did a really good job of getting back up in those instances and did enough damage on the feet. She actually, despite having all of those like disadvantageous positions, she actually outstruck Lupi Godinez in that fight. And so I like the speed, I like the power, I like the technical aspect of her striking. And, you know, as you mentioned, Kowalkiewicz, not as fast as she used to be. So no. I'm going to take Polastri here too. I probably don't love the money line though, being where it's at. Like, I'm not sure I love her at 3-1 money. But yeah, I'm still picking her to win this one.
Yeah, because she's probably not going to put her away, and you know, going to hang in there, and then to a decision, anything could happen. So yeah,
yeah, but it's a Brazilian commission.
That's true. That's true. But still, money line, little. I agree. Little steeper. That you would have liked to see it in the twos, probably at the very most here, not minus 350. So
right.
Let's go to some heavyweights. Oh boy, the brother versus brother fight that we all have been dying for.
Love this fight.
Of course you would, because you're a sicko. Valter Walker from Brazil, Mohammed Usman from Nigeria. 3 5-minute rounds, 265. Usman, of course, is the motor, which perfectly describes his fighting style. Just nonstop action. He's 11-4, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He has been submitted once. At least he's durable. 4-2 in the UFC, 1-2 over his last 3, 4-2 over his last 6. He did win his last fight. He went 2-0 in the Ultimate Fighter and was the champion of his season. 0-1 in PFL, an inch of reach over Walker, twice more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.42 strikes per minute. No, he's been outstruck, by 0.42 strikes per minute. Plus 265. The clean monster versus the motor. Walker, 14-1, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 3-1 in the UFC. He's won 3 straight, all via submission. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt like this. This is sticky on it. Get all their merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at 205. He's 4 inches taller than Usman, 8 years younger, better grappling stats. He's been outstruck as well by almost a striking minute. He's at minus 0.99. And on the betting board, minus 275. Which brother wins?
So why don't we just go Valter Walker by heel hook?
Yeah, obviously.
Can we get the exact prop here? I know some of the books offer it, but I'm not joking. I'm like joking, but I'm also not joking. He's won 3 fights in a row by heel hook. Heavyweights notoriously don't know how to defend heel hooks. Cyril Gain once won by heel hook because nobody at heavyweight knows how to defend a heel hook, right? And that dude's a kickboxer. And so, like, what about Mohammed Usman makes you think he's the guy who's going to stop the takedown? He's the guy who's going to force him to strike with him. I mean, like, he's only ever fought 2 people who've tried to take him down. One of them was Thomas Peterson, who did so successfully a couple of times. So, like, I mean, the best part about Valter Walker in terms of winning a fight, too, is he doesn't need to take you down to heel hook you. He often pulls guard or pulls you on top of him to heel hook you. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty with Valter Walker. And the other thing about Mo Usman is just, like, apart from, you know, knocking a dude out who should have been at light heavyweight in the tough finale, it's not like he's got big put away power, right? It's not like he's
Nope.
gonna punish Valter Walker. And the only other thing that's cost Valter Walker a fight is the guy who he's fighting having better cardio than him. And are you worried about that here?
The motor. He's got a motor though, Gumby, let me tell you.
Does he though?
First gear. It's stuck in first gear, but yes, it's a motor, all right. Yeah, Walker is the obvious pick here. Walker via submission is the obvious pick here as well, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Do you know it's actually pretty playable too? Have you seen the number on it?
More on that tomorrow. More on that tomorrow.
I figured.
All right, we're both in on Walker here. All right, we are linking up with all the picks. We also link up with mybookie.ag. We love mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their model is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the UFC lines we're talking about right here over at mybookie.ag. And when you do head over there, make sure you use our promo code MMASGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. So that's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And we're also brought to you by Novig. That's Novig. One word. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Speaking of the best prices, they also have reduced juice on their bets. So we don't like juice. So that's a good thing to see. So 35 plus states, download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. So get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. All right, no more big guys here. We're at least for a couple fights. We're dropping down all the way down to men's flyweight now. Lucas Rocha, Brazil. Stewart Nicoll. Want to make sure it's Australia before I get yelled at. Australia, 3 5-minute rounds. We'll tell you about Nicoll first. Kakamora is the nickname. 8-1, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds. 0-1 in the UFC. He got submitted in his last bout. Multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. 2 inches taller than Rocha, 1 inch of reach advantage, better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats than Rocha, based off of one fight, though. He outstruck his opponent in that fight by 1.89 strikes per minute, and he's at plus 105 on the board. Phenomenal. We got another one. Rocha, 17-2, 10 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, 0-1 in the UFC. Before that, he won 6 straight. He got submitted in his last bout as well. 1-0 contender series, multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at 115 and 135, 4 years younger than Nicoll. He's got outstruck in his debut and contender series fight, included by 2.48 strikes per minute, minus 111. All right, now I'm finally going dog. Give me Stewart Nicoll here. Aggressive grappling, finishing ability, questionable competition, but I'll overlook that because Rocha's been taken down 7 times in his 2 fights in the octagon. Contender series 5 times, then last fight twice. So I think Nicoll will be able to get him down, and then he's very aggressive when he is on the ground. So I'll take the slight dog here in Stewart Nicoll.
I love it too. I'm going Nicoll as well. And for me, that aggression actually cost him his last fight. You said right. Questionable competition. I assume you're
outside of the UFC.
Yeah, outside of the UFC. Because I was going to say, Jesus Aguilar is a hell of an ask for a debut fight, and he ragdolled him for what? I mean, I think that fight lasted 3 minutes, but I think he ragdolled him for 240, took him down, had his back, beating him up. And then, they rolled kind of awkwardly and he jumped on his back. He fell off the top and got guillotined. That over-aggression did wind up costing him. But the good news is in this fight, as you mentioned, he's fighting a guy who's not only clearly got a grappling deficiency, but he also doesn't have urgency to get up necessarily. He was fighting Clayton Carpenter in his last fight. Carpenter scored the takedown. He just chill on top. You watch his fights with Davy Black, he's a little bit more eager to get up in that Davy Black fight, but he was on his back 5 times against the guy who I don't really even consider a grappler in Davy Black. So, I think Stewart Nicoll is going to have his way here in terms of the grappling. I think lots of takedowns, if he even needs more than one for that matter. I take down, rinse and repeat. Give me Stewart Nicoll.
All right. Very good. Speaking of grappling, we're going to women's bantamweight now. Irina, Alekseeva, Russia. Beatriz, Mesquita from Brazil. We'll talk about the Russian first. Alekseeva, Russian Ronda, 5-3, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. She's never been finished in a fight. She's 1-2 in the UFC. However, she's lost 2 straight and won 2 of her last 5. She last won a fight October April 2023. Missed weight before at 135 as well. 1-0 Bellator RIP. Used fed at 125 and 145. 4 inches Harlan. Then Mesquita plus 500. Bia Mesquita 5-0, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. This is her UFC debut. TKO win in her last bout. LFA champion, a multi-time BJJ world champion, minus 508.
Yeah, be a Mesquita. Anytime she wants the submission, she can have it. This is we're talking about a very high level black belt. If you've seen any of her work on the regional scene, whether it's LFA or, Ambi fights or whatever you got, the transitions on the ground are just so clean. She has no issue moving between side control and half guard and mount, and it's seamless. Everything's seamless. She's really good at forcing her opponents to give up the position she wants. If she wants to take your back, she's going to lead you perfectly to where you would try to stand up, and she's going to be on your back when she does. And, Alekseeva, we really haven't been impressed by her in here. It really does feel like she's kind of being fed to the wolves and getting ready to get her walking papers here because, what's her path to victory here? Keep this standing. Right? Is that maybe it? The only way she wins this fight is she keeps it standing because she's not going to the ground with Bia Mesquita and living to tell the tale. And she's not Alekseeva is not really much of a striker either. She's kind of slow and plodding. And, we've said in the past, pretty much she needs a takedown in order to win. I think if she scores the takedown she wants here, she loses immediately. I think the fight immediately ends if she scores a takedown. So, I'm going to take Bia Mesquita all day.
Yep. Pretty easy play here. Sadly, the submission, obviously the submission plot is better. It's not I think it's
minus 110 I saw, right?
Yeah. So actually
that doesn't suck. Play, really. That doesn't suck at all.
Yeah, because that's more than unless she's a striker now, because she got a TKO last fight. If she realizes that she's not a striker and she's going to grapple, then she's going to submit her more than likely. So, all right, we're on the same page once again. 2 more fights left to go before we get to those. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. It's available for a ton of sports. Gumby's got to play for a sport right now, I bet.
Sure, yeah. We got the Sunday night football tomorrow in the NFL, and I'm gonna go with I like Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson playing up against the Eagles. I'm gonna take the higher than just on his receptions. I don't know if he's gonna find the end zone or how many yards he's gonna get, but I think they're gonna need those check downs. And right now he's only at 3.5 receptions. So give me 4 receptions here for Theo Johnson.
All right. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 to get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code, and only our code, MMA SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. They went 8-2 on passing prop overs in week 5 and 5-0 on Dylan Gabriel debut props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gummy's probably going to give you a play, and he's going to tell me who Dylan Gabriel is as well.
Dylan Gabriel, former quarterback for the Ducks. But no, I'm going to take the Giants against the Eagles. Oh. I know, crazy. But I'm not going to take the money line. I'm not nuts. But I am going to take the Giants getting 8 right now. I'm seeing them picking up 8 points right here, and the Eagles are just miserable trying to cover the spread coming off a loss. So ugly loss last week to the Broncos. Even if they win this one, they're not going to be able to cover the points. Take the Giants to keep it close.
All right. Use our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, that's RITHMM, and use promo code SGPN25. All right, we got big boys again. 2 heavyweight fights on the prelims. What is the UFC thinking? Vitor Petrino from Brazil, Thomas Peterson from the United States of America. 3 5-minute rounds. We'll talk about the American Peterson first. The Train, Thomas the Train Peterson, 10-3, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice. 2-2 in the UFC. Loss win has been the pattern. He's won 5 of his last 7, though. He also is 1-0 on Contender Series. He also is the former LFA champion. Better striking stats than Petrino, more active landing strikes than Petrino, better grappling stats than Petrino, and he has outstruck his opponents by 0.8 strikes per minute. He's at plus 260. A cow or Cabuloso, which means clumsy, is Petrino's nicknames. 12-2, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 5-2 in the UFC. He's won 1 of 3. He did win his last bout via submission. Used to fight at 205, 1-0 in Contender Series. An inch taller than Peterson, 3-inch reach advantage, 2 years younger. He has outstruck his opponents just barely by 0.12 strikes per minute, minus 275. I'm going crazy. I'm going dog, Gumby. I like a big heavyweight dog here. I think it's going to come down to grappling. Peterson is a better grappler than Petrino, but he also can hang on the feet as well. And his resume is pretty good. Like, he only loses, other than we'll forget about the Jamal Pogues loss.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you remember the loss.
Jamal Pogues.
But you know what? To be fair, I got
not a bad loss.
Yeah, I got an excuse for the Jamal Pogues loss too. Remember that in the Jamal Pogues fight. First of all, you know, there was like a zero output in that fight, to the point where like both guys were kind of foolish looking. But in addition to that, right after that is when he changed up the training for the guys in the bodega. You know, like pretty much after that, it's like heavier sparring, more, you know, fight like situations. And since then, he's looked really good. You know, obviously the loss to Gajiev where he got caught, you know, notwithstanding, he had 9 takedowns on Dante Mays, you know, really dominated the ground game there. And also, like, I'm still not sold as Petrino as a heavyweight. You know, he lost those two fights. Yeah, he lost those 2 fights. And don't get me wrong, he got big. But like, he lost those 2 fights at light heavyweight to Anthony Smith, and then one to who's the other? Oh, Dustin Jacoby. And then he's like, I don't know, I'll try heavyweight, get real big. And then he got dropped by Austin Lane, right? Like, was it him that got dropped by Austin Lane, or am I thinking of Mario Pinto?
Pinto dropped.
Pinto got dropped. Yeah, Pinto got dropped.
I'm not sure if he got dropped as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got dropped as well. Oh, I'm thinking no, Austin Lane. He got was toe to toe with Austin Lane. Is the through line here. Austin Lane dropped Pinto, but just like swung wildly with Petrino on the feet, and then Petrino scored the takedown. Is he going to take down Thomas Peterson? No. Thomas Peterson 100% takedown rate on the defense. I think he's going to have to try to slug with him. And also, like, with all that newfound muscle, is he going to be able to carry the takedown attempts that Thomas Peterson brings? Doubt it. So I'm going to go with Thomas Peterson as well. I think the big guy is better fit for this division, and you know, especially at this price. Like, what did you say we were getting him at? 230?
260. 260. Yeah. Why is it so high, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, like, he doesn't look
like either guy is. It's not like other guys been a world beater. Really.
No, but it's like the sports books woke up and looked at the picture from their last weigh-in, and they're like, "Wow, look at those biceps and shoulders on Petrino." And then
the other guy looks like a bodega fighter.
Yeah, and then he looks like a concrete worker, you know. And there's nothing wrong with being a concrete worker, but that's what he looks like, you know.
Yep. All right, we are both in on the bodega boy, which is good. See if we're gonna finish this up it comes down to one fight, Gumby. Will we have the same pick here? Let's see. Prelim main event: Jafel Filho, Brazil; Clayton Carpenter, United States of America. And we were telling you about Filho first. Pastor Filho, 16-4, 5 knockouts, 10 submissions. He's been submitted twice, 2-2 in the UFC. He's won 2 of 3 and 7 of 9, but he did lose his last bout. He went 1-0 Contender Series. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at 135, 2012 Pro MMA debut. 1-0 as a pro grappler. 1 inch of height over Carpenter, 2-inch reach advantage. Better grappling stats than Carpenter. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.29 strikes per minute, plus 105. So pretty much a pick 'em on the board here. Carpenter's 8-1, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 2-1 in the UFC, but he did lose his last bout. He also went 1-0 in Contender Series. I think the only way into the UFC now is Contender Series, so it's pretty much every resume is going to say that. 3 years younger than Filho. Better striking stats, twice more active landing strikes than Filho is. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC and the Contender Series by 1.16 strikes per minute. He's at minus 120. And Gumby finishes us off here.
You ready for me to surprise you? I'm going to take Jafel Filho.
Okay, see if you can sell me, because I currently am on the Carpenter side, but I need more dogs, so go ahead.
You know, and I'm not one who goes chasing dogs or not, but like I've always loved Clayton Carpenter. You know, I do. I really think his game is top notch. I really believe in him as a prospect, but like, what was the reason he lost to Tagir Lambakov in his last fight? It's because he repeatedly got taken down and he was just fine being there, you know, because he's always trusted his grappling abilities and he continues to trust his grappling abilities. And you know what? That's great. But Jafel Filho is an absolute animal on the mat. You know, he scores multiple takedowns every time, as long as he doesn't sub the guy too fast, right? Because he subbed Ode Osborne in like, what, you know, half a round. He had 4 takedowns again in his last fight. He had a quick submission in the fight before that. You know, I mean, even back me up to his Mohammed Mokaev fight. He had Mokaev beat. He was almost Mohammed Mokaev's first loss. He had that dude's knee straight on backwards, right? And like, that's the level of grappler we're talking about here against a guy who became wildly complacent in his last fight. Like, wildly complacent in his last fight. You have to count on, in order to get behind the Clayton Carpenter side for me, you have to count on a complete mind shift, a complete fight IQ turnaround, you know, a different mentality when he's in bad situations. Like, you basically have to decide that this guy who had a not great fight IQ, not great mindset in his last fight, is now going to go to Brazil and suddenly have a different mindset. You know what I mean? He's going to fight on enemy turf with a hostile crowd, and he is going to then have the fire lit underneath him. And I just, as much as I want to trust Carpenter, because I do like him as a prospect, I think, you know, he's probably got the striking advantage in this fight. I just can't get behind, like, just assuming he's gotten much better in that one aspect.
Yeah, I'm sold. The 42% takedown defense for Carpenter is the main thing here, I think.
And Ulambakov, the other thing too is I tried to like excuse it on being like Ulambakov's good, but then I'm like, is Ulambakov good at grappling? Like he's kind of like good at the clinch, and like he's kind of a fun striker sometimes. And yeah, he gets some takedowns, but he's not like a world beater on the mat either.
Yeah, I'm sold, Gumby. That was one of the up in the air fights, so I am sold. He's Filho should be able to get him down, and like you said, keep him down. So until he finishes the job. All right, let's recap. It's a team ride. Filho, Peterson, Mesquita, Nicoll, Walker, Polastri, and Lacerda. It's a grapple heavy choices by us. So hopefully a lot of grappling goes down on Saturday. All right, we'll be in the Discord chatting it up. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. On the old Twitter X, SGPN MMA. He's at Gummy Rila, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff X Writer on Instagram as well. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. Gummy has a podcast called Top Turtle. Have you decided who's on it this week, Gummy?
Yeah, we got, you know, as promised, Eduardo Pena, who was supposed to fight a couple of weeks ago. The interview's a touch on the older side, but you know, lots of good stuff from him. And then I surprised got a last-second interview from CFFC's Elias De La Rosa, who we talked about on Monday. So you can check for that in your feed probably right now.
Excellent. Check out Top Turtle wherever you get your podcasts. And we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Back tomorrow to finish up this UFC fight night. It will be the Motor Jeff Fox, Psycho Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.